Will it be Taco Bell?
You know, Taco Bell should sponsor this show, really.
They
Really
should. I wish they did. But you know what? What can you do?
Oh, yeah, look at that crown. I saw it for only a second. It was great.
Just wait till you see it animate.
My gosh. And I got a Google commercial.
I got a Halo 5 commercial.
Halo 5 for me as well.
There it is.
Oh, that is a magnificent crown.
Yeah.
Did I do good, John?
I get a Sandra Bullock movie. I don't understand what I've done to my computer. The cookies on it are screwed up.
It's just like, well, you really, really, really need to clean up your act, mister.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Are there people here?
There's a few.
Okay, sure.
There's sometimes people here.
Are there people?
I'll retweet once you... I guess your Twitch thing will probably have sent out a tweet.
Yep,
I always feel like somebody's watching me. I've heard that song like a gajillion times because it's Halloween time.
Is that actually an official Halloween song?
Yeah, according to every Halloween party mix ever, yep.
Oh. Yeah, I saw your tweet the other day about judging the Halloween music mix at work. How'd that go?
It's a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas.
That makes sense.
At least the Pandora one is. I played the Apple one, and that seemed a little bit better, honestly.
Somebody at my work found the complete soundtrack to the Haunted Mansion at Disneyland.
Oh, that's cool.
That's good.
That thing is actually surprisingly long. It's like 30 minutes long, so.
Which is shocking, considering the length of the ride.
Yeah, but, they need to loop it enough so that the employees don't go crazy, I guess.
Well, they only looped it a couple of times, and then someone was like, turn this damn thing, so.
Yeah, well, next time that you're at Disneyland, just hope that the ride doesn't stop when you're by the doors and you hear all the knockers going at the same time. I was stuck there for like 10 minutes once, and it was horrible.
Oh, okay.
Ben, what's your favorite ride of Disneyland?
Star Tours.
Star Tours. Was that even a question?
Not really.
Dear Blizzard.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Old Star Tours, new Star Tours, doesn't matter.
And California Adventure,
Tower of Terror.
Tower of Terror, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tower of Terror.
Yes.
A certain person has told me that she is not going to participate in the Tower of Terror.
No, but we will.
Oh, we will.
Oh,
there
yes.
will be a Tower of Terror. There will be all. That should be a prediction. How many times did John go on the damn Tower of Terror? Because I'm going on that thing
multiple times.
At least once.
We'll hit it twice at least.
Yeah. I love the Tower of Terror.
Using one of your fast passes on that one?
Yeah. And bringing Ben along so I'm entertained in a long line pass. That pass as well.
Was I pretty entertaining the last time we went on it?
I think so.
I hope so.
I remember it was late when we went on it last time.
Yeah, because California Adventure was almost closing.
Yeah.
But Disneyland wasn't because they stay open later.
It's weird, right?
Yeah. But I mean, which is the park that everyone wants to go to?
The one with Tower of Terror.
That's why they need to close it earlier to get everybody out of there sooner because it takes longer. Right?
So the last time I went to Disneyland, California Adventure was being built.
Well, it's going to be quite a different experience for you then.
Right?
Thanks, Big Daddy Adam88. I'm quite pleased with it. Ben picked it out for me. He put it on the stream for me, but it's a fancy crown.
I'm glad you like it. I really am.
I can't. None of this is going to work because it's not real time, but I pat to the crown.
You did pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good. It was close.
I'm waiting for the actual results here as I watch the screen.
No, it's not that close.
So it could have been worse. All right, you guys ready to start this thing up?
Yeah, let's do this thing.
All right. Ro and Mick, do you want to go ahead and do some sort of collaboration of the normal intro, and then I'll pick it up from there?
Sure. Mick can start off, and I'll jump in, and then we'll both say, and you're listening to Azeroth Roundtable. And I'll try to be as hyped as Mick is.
Okay, good. All right, great. Fantastic. We should go with that.
Okay.
Okay, ready whenever you are.
Yeah. This is Mick Montgomery from Stormcast and the Starting Zone.
And this is Ro from Realm Maintenance and Extended Maintenance.
And you're listening to
Azeroth Roundtable.
Azeroth Roundtable's Blizzcon 2015 prediction show is brought to you by the official Azeroth Roundtable t-shirt, available now at slashloot.com. If you're going to BlizzCon, you better go with the Murloc.
Father, is it over? At long last. No king rules forever, my son. I see only darkness for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the past 2 years, Azeroth Roundtable has attempted to look into the future and bring you a glimpse into what is going to happen at BlizzCon. Well, it is my pleasure to announce that it is that time of year yet again. Welcome to the annual Azeroth Roundtable BlizzCon 2015 Prediction Show! This year's players are myself, Ben Bumhofer, with Big Montgomery, and Brian Black, also known as Ro. And returning from last year's win, our friend, our judge, Mr. John Jagger.
Hello, everybody. It's great to be here. I'm your king, John Jagger. And like you heard in the intro, no king can rule forever. And sadly, that is true. My time as king of this show is coming to an end. Thankfully, we have assembled a panel of individuals that I trust to pass the mantle to. Introducing first, as you heard in the intro, my co-host, the guy who's on the show every week and still hasn't been proclaimed king, Ben Bumhofer. Hi, Ben.
Hi, John.
How you doing, man?
Good. I have a really good feeling this year.
All right, Ben's got a good feeling. Speaking of good feelings, Ro, Brian Black, whatever I'm going to call you for the rest of this show.
John.
Hey, man, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be here.
You were the judge the first time.
Indeed.
You picked the first champion of this show.
I blazed a trail.
Then you tried to be the champion.
I tried.
You failed.
Yeah.
Okay. Someone who does not know much about failure, because he is awesome, and, quite frankly, I think he might take it this year. Our third guest, and his first time entering into this championship, Mick Montgomery. Mick, how are you, sir?
It's always good to be here, John. Thanks, guys, for having me be a part of I know which is always a much anticipated show for both you guys and your listeners. Still quite not sure what's happening or what I'm doing, but I'm excited about it.
That's good. You're in the right mindset for the show.
Mick, for the record, you have not listened to the previous prediction shows of Azeroth Roundtable.
Well, that's incorrect. I have listened to the previous prediction shows. I usually listen to them on my way down on the drive to BlizzCon. Unfortunately, I've done about 397 podcasts since BlizzCon last year, and that has taken up the majority of my available files in my biological hard drive that resides inside my skull. So I'm still unsure what I'm supposed to do, but I'm sure it's going to go probably okay. There's a good chance terrible, but I'm confident that it's going to be something.
That could be the back-of-the-box description for this show. So, spectacular, sir. Mm-hmm. In fact, let's go ahead and clear things up a little bit before we get into the predictions proper. As your judge, I want you all to have a fair and balanced shot at winning this year. As a result, I am going to tell you how I will be judging this year. so there are no surprises. First and foremost, if you predict BlizzCon, you're going to win. Doesn't matter what the point values are. If you look down the list of the predictions you've made and clearly you made the right choices, you will win. However, if you did not, that's where the points come in. So let's talk about points. I will reward people for taking risks. I like risk taking. And as a result, very specific, very bold, very big predictions will yield more points than safe predictions. That said, incorrect predictions will lose points. And if you take a safe prediction and it's wrong, you will lose even more points. So keep that in mind when you're giving me your answers. Everyone clear on that?
Yes.
Better to go big and be wrong than to go safe and be wrong.
Nope, but let's keep going anyway.
Okay.
So,
It's actually better
Thoroughly
to,
confused. I'm excited about this.
this is great.
better to go big and be right than to go safe and be wrong.
There you go. That's a
Sure.
good call. That's a good way to go. Yeah, Ben's got it. All right, I'm changing my vote. I think Ben might have this. He's known me for so long. Let's just get right into the predictions. We're going to start with the opening ceremonies. Our first category for your predictions. Ben, let's set an example for everybody, and you tell me, geek is?
Geek is not.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Ro?
definitely not.
Geek is.
Geek is watching an amazing trailer for a Warcraft movie. I don't care if it's safe, that's what geek is in the opening ceremony.
All right. Mick, geek is. Is this the year for geek is? Again.
Geek is not going to happen, but nerd is, and it'll most likely be the inside jokes that are mentioned during the Hearthstone presentation.
All right. Look at that. See, you've got this. You've already nailed it. All right. So during the opening ceremonies, there's been a lot of speculation, a lot of talk. Are we going to get a big announcement? Does Blizzard have a card up their sleeve? Do we already know everything we're getting? So this time we're going to start with Ro. Is there, and if so, what is the big announcement or reveal?
The big announcement or reveal is oddly enough going to be the same thing I said last year. It's two big announcements, actually. One something I said last year, and one something that people are really not expecting anymore. First of all, I do think that Warcraft 4 is a strong possibility this year. I know that there are a number of StarCraft panels for the first day. I know that there's no space in the panels to provide Warcraft 4 talk. But I see that panel that says the future of StarCraft 2, and I can't help but wonder if that is a facade for Warcraft 4 happening right after the opening ceremony. It feels suspect to me. I feel that Warcraft 4 is the next step for the StarCraft 2 team when Legacy of the Void is over. And I think that Warcraft 4 is going to be announced. It will not be playable. It's just going to be announced in name and probably talked about in a panel. Along with that, a second big prediction, which is also bold to say this because of how little space they have on the floor, Diablo 3 is going to get an expansion announcement. Even though they have been relegated to the back of the Dark Moon Fair, it's not going to be playable. But there is going to be an expansion announcement. There will be a name. And that's about all we're going to hear about that. And they'll talk more about that probably in 2016.
That's a bold prediction, Ro. Mick, we'll see if that pays off. What's your call for the big announcement or reveal?
Well, like Ro, I believe there are two.
Ooh.
The first of which...
Where this is going.
The first of which has absolutely nothing to do with the properties that we know, but everything to do with the properties that we know. What we will see at BlizzCon is the announcement of the name of a brand new Activision Blizzard esports network that will be distributed via app and through subscription, and the announcement of at least 20 to 30 dates for ESPN to broadcast esports on ESPN3 and ESPN2.
I like it. Not just because I'm excited for your prediction to maybe come true, but because I like it.
But I
Ben?
have a second one, John.
Oh, there's a second one. I thought that was both in one. What's the second one?
As we all know, John and Ben and Ro, I have friends at Blizzard. And every once in a while, I take them out for drinks, and I get them really drunk. And they tell me things that they're not supposed to tell me.
It's a bold move,
Something
Cotton.
completely unexpected is going to be announced at BlizzCon. Something you would be shocked to know about. Something you never would have thought of. Blizzard is completely going outside the box. They're not going to do something that's gaming related, but kind of gaming related. This is the first time that Blizzard is going to introduce wearable technology. That's right. It's called the Epic Bracer. You wear it on your wrist, and it doesn't really measure fitness or activity stats. It simply monitors your emotional feeling as you play Blizzard games. And it is smart enough to know if you're on a Wi-Fi enabled network, whether or not you're looking at various World of Warcraft themed fan sites. And when they post news, they'll measure your emotional response. This will help them to A, figure out if you're truly trolling them on the forums and mean what you say when you say those vociferous things that you often do when they give you news. And it will give them the best way to measure how you really feel about the games you play.
This is a very bold prediction.
I'm speechless.
John, I think the episode's over. Mick wins.
I don't know if I want Blizzard to know when I'm on websites.
But here's the thing, John.
Okay, yes, man.
If you buy the Epic Bracer, you will get 25 years of World of Warcraft subscription for free.
You know what? It's worth them knowing my browsing habits for that. That's fine.
Yep.
They can.
And one skin in Heroes of the Storm.
I'm sure they
Exclusive.
can pull up my chat logs at some point. They already think as little of me as they possibly can, so it's fine. Ben, it is going to be hard to top that, so try and top that.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and start off with a play it safe model. Because they are going to announce the actual release date of the beta of World of Warcraft Legion. That is going to be one of the grand old, excited things, because what else are they going to talk about? They've already talked about a lot of stuff.
Well, let's get clear.
Mm-hmm.
When you say they are going to announce the date, are you telling me that they are going to say an exact date, or are you saying they're going to say December 2015?
This is when the beta for Legion will be playable by people that we invite in.
Will it have a number?
It will
attached
have
to it?
a specific date attached to it.
Okay. So I will know exactly the day to look forward to.
Yes. And then also the exact day that half of Twitter is going to scream and cry and whine because they didn't get into that beta.
So I will know the date to be hopeful and sad
off of Twitter.
and not to get on Twitter. Good.
Yes. Exactly.
All right. And it sounded like you might have one that's maybe not quite playing it as safe.
Yes. While I do agree with Ro that they're going to go ahead and show us the Warcraft trailer and everything like that. That's not my prediction. It's going to happen. Everybody knows that. What we are going to see is a good 7 minutes of the film that is not included in the trailer. Whether it's the first 7 minutes or just a pivotal, kind of cool introduction scene later on. It will be at 7 minutes in the very least.
All right. 7 minutes. Awfully specific. I like it. I like that sort of thing. That's the kind of thing that gets you points if it's right. So, we've gone through the big announcement, the big reveal. The interesting thing, especially as Blizzard branches out and encompasses more games, is what's their closer? What ends the opening ceremonies? Are they talking about Warcraft? Last year it was talking about Overwatch. What closes the opening ceremonies? Mick, what's ending that thing?
Mike Morhaime doing the whip and the nay-nay.
You know what? If it happens, you're getting a lot of points.
No, I think it's going to be the Overwatch announcement that everybody at BlizzCon is going to get beta access. That's what I think it's going to be. That's the close.
Okay. Ben.
I think that's going to be hard since they're starting off with Overwatch. But what I think it's going to be
sneak in an extra prediction in there. That's well done.
What I think is going to happen is they're actually going to end on WoW. It's been a while since WoW has actually been the focus at a BlizzCon, so this is their chance to really kind of hype it up and really throw it out there at the very end.
Okay. And Ro? What about you?
I've already made the big prediction on what the big announcements are going to be. Here's the thing. I've been thinking about the esports thing myself. And I don't think that Mick is necessarily incorrect in them announcing some big, bold, major esports move. I don't know what the details of that esports move is going to be. I don't know if they're going to be as elaborate and as big as Mick is planning, but I think they close this with esports. Okay. Whatever announcement it is, it will be pertaining specifically esports.
That's exciting to me. That's an interesting shift. So we are about to end the opening ceremonies category. I'm going to do one more around the table. Mm-hmm. This is your opportunity to throw anything else about the opening ceremonies specifically that you would like to potentially get points for. One thing per person. Let's see. Who did I start with last time? I started with Mick, didn't I? Mm-hmm. No, it's Ben's turn first.
Is it possible? Can I go ahead and give it to Ro? He's super excited for this one.
All right. If you want to give it to Ro, that's a nice thing. You can do that.
Go ahead.
This will be the first BlizzCon opening ceremony that Chris Metzen does not have a presence in.
Oh.
Wow.
All right. Mick, you got to follow that up.
Duncan Jones will be on stage, as will another high-ranking legendary official.
Okay. Ben?
Chris Metzen is going to walk on the stage holding a replica of Ashbringer.
Cool. That sounds awesome. How are they going to get the little coin to float?
I don't know. We'll see. Because, I mean, he's walked on stage with Frostmourne. He's walked on stage with Doomhammer. What's next? Ashbringer.
Okay. Well, speaking of World of Warcraft weapons, let's move into the World of Warcraft section. This section is bigger for predictions than the others. The others are going to be mostly general, but we are still a WoW podcast, so that's going to be where the focus is. So let's talk about Legion. Blizzard has been very open about the fact that there are features they have not talked about for Legion yet. Whether or not they were saving that for a reveal, we don't know. So, let me ask you, is there going to be a new feature? And if there isn't, go ahead and tell me that too, and what it is. Ro, it's your turn. You're up.
I think there will be a new feature announced, and just as they are taking a page from Diablo with the transmog system, I believe they're going to attempt to do their own version of an adventure mode. And what I think that is going to include is content happening all around Azeroth, encouraging people to journey to even old areas where they participate in end-level content. In their words, it would be level 110 content, fighting off invasions of the Burning Legion. It would be a dynamic system. You could compare it to things that you've seen, such as in Guild Wars 2 or Rifts, but with Blizzard's own special take on it, similar yet done in their own style.
Okay. Mick, what do you think the new feature will be, if there is one?
No idea where Ro got that idea from. I think the new feature is going to be...
I actually came up with that first, and then Alt talked about it on your show, and you guys went in that direction on that. I talked about adventure mode first.
Calm down. Calm down. We do not fight amongst
if you
ourselves.
introduce something called the Epic or the Epic Quest mode in June of this year, then you're correct.
The Epic Bracer's all you.
I think, guys, it's going to be a brand new feature. It's going to tie into those who like to do pet battles and that kind of thing. Mount husbandry. That's right. You're going to be able to breed your mounts together to create new and interesting, wonderful mounts.
All right.
So the
Wow,
mounts
just
will be
got
mounting.
sexy.
Gotcha.
Ben.
Think Viva Pinata,
Oh,
but with
you've
dragons.
won me over. You've won me over right there. I am all about Viva Pinata. I'm on board. I'm just so happy. Not many people talk about Viva Pinata, so I'm all for that. Ben,
Yes.
you have to beat Viva Pinata, which has won a lot of admiration for me.
Why do I always have to go after Mick? That's all I'm saying. What I think they're going to do is they're going to streamline the leveling process from 1 to 100. I'm not saying it's going to be an epic adventure, as Mick has stated on this show before, which is a very good leveling idea, which we've talked about. But I think that they're going to streamline the process even more with an actual quest line set up for going through these zones. You pick a continent, you start, you go. And then after that, you just kind of get there. Story isn't going to be the focus. The focus is going to be level up as fast as humanly possible. I understand that Legion is going to include a level 100 boost, but what they're going to want to do is have people leveling more and more alts to get more and more people in. So therefore, boom. Streamlining quests and leveling
All right. That's exciting. I think if I was going to make a safe prediction this year, I would say that we are going to see the opening cinematic at BlizzCon. That would feel like a safe prediction to me, and I would probably make it. But what do I know? I'm just the champion. So, let me go ahead and ask our panel of judges here. What do you think we're going to see of the intro cinematic? Will we see it? What will we see in it if so? Or do you want to take the bold stance of we're not going to see the intro cinematic? Mick, it's your turn to start us off.
We will see the intro cinematic for Legion. That's going to happen. I don't think that you can have something called World of Warcraft cinematic panel and not reveal it at BlizzCon this year. And I think mostly it's going to show us exactly what Illidan's role is going to be within Legion and set that up nicely. And it's going to reveal... we already kind of know what's going to be happening in Gul'dan, so it's either going to be clarifying Illidan's role against the Legion, or it's going to confuse us even more.
All right, Ben?
Well, considering they've had a World of Warcraft cinematics panel on every BlizzCon I've been to, I don't think it's a safe bet, actually. I do not think that they're going to have the opening cinematic, because beta is still a ways out. They usually don't release the cinematic until, I don't know, a month or so before the game comes to add to hype. It is not going to be there.
Well, bah humbug to you, sir. Ro, what's your call on this?
Similar but different. I agree with Ben in that there will not be an opening cinematic shown for World of Warcraft Legion. That said, I do think we are going to get a small piece of cinematic, akin to that small little bit they showed of Gul'dan awakening Illidan. I think we're going to see another one of those, done with that kind of detail and CGI, something really small and brief, but just another piece of the story to continue the hype, to push things ever so closer to the launch of Legion and the eventual opening cinematic, which I agree with Ben, we'll probably see a month or two away before the expansion comes out with the announcement of, like, the launch date.
All right.
Can I make an addendum to mine as well?
Sure, I'll allow it.
I still don't think there's going to be a cinematic. I think there will be some sort of video-ish thing, kind of similar to the Warlords thing that they had, where they introduced the different Warlords. I think we're going to get the first one of those.
A lore series thing.
Like the animated thing?
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's a fine addendum there. So I think between the three of you, you've all kind of talked about the Warcraft movie, so now's your opportunity to talk about it more. One prediction pertaining to the Warcraft movie, starting with Ben.
Okay. Let's see. Well, we're going to get at least 7 minutes of video.
I was going to say, you can't... Okay, so let's be clear. You can double down on the prediction you've already made, which will award you extra points if it's correct, or potentially lose the same amount of points if it's correct. This is also an opportunity to change your prediction and, spread your net a little bit across the sea, as it were.
No, I'm going double down.
You're double down.
I'm double down on this.
Ro, are you doubling down?
I think a full trailer, which is, like 2 minutes or 2 minutes 15 seconds, whatever the standard movie trailer length is. I think a full trailer is something that we're going to see. I do think that there is going to be additional footage available, but is not something that's going to be shown at the panel or the opening ceremony. Rather specifically, they're going to do something similar to what they did last year, in which on the upper floor they have this whole little theater thing set up, and if you want to watch and I'm going to put a time on it myself since Ben said 7, I'm going to say that they have a 3-minute clip, additional clip from the movie, that's going to be shown along with some of the other cinematic stuff. That's how they're going to show their extra piece of the movie, and that piece will be exclusive to those who go to BlizzCon. Everyone gets to see the trailer, but those who go to BlizzCon get to go upstairs and see that 3-minute clip from the movie.
All right. I'm not going to lie to you, Ro. I paid 0 attention to that. But I also am not writing any of this down until I listen to this a second time, so it'll sound new to me then.
Okay.
Mick, what's your call on this?
I will not be answering this question because I know the actual answer, and I'm not kidding about that. I will be taking 0 points here.
All right. A bold and honest stance from Mick.
Well played.
I appreciate that.
He probably gets points just for good manners there.
Ro, you're not distributing the points. I'm going to take points away from you for trying to distribute them.
Well, let's put it this way. He's not going to play I think there's going to be some sort of community movie that features everybody this year.
I think there's... Yeah.
That did happen once.
That did happen.
All right. So, we're talking a lot about Legion. Are we going to hear anything about Warlords? I have no idea whose turn it is to be first, so if it's your turn, go ahead and answer first.
I think it's actually Ro's turn to be first.
All right, Ro, take it away.
Are we going to hear anything about Warlords?
Yep.
Yeah, I think that we are going to hear about 6.2.3. I think that the developers that are up on stage are going to talk about their philosophy behind 6.2.3 because it's relevant and an indicator of what we can expect to see for endgame systems in Legion. In other words, what they're going to basically say, the stuff we're seeing with Valor and how it's being put into 6.2.3 is similar to what we are going to see in Legion. The changes that they are making to normal raids by actually making the normal raid difficulty less complicated in Hellfire Citadel, they are going to say that that philosophy is going to continue in the Legion. So yes, we are going to hear about Warlords because they are going to put it in the context of the changes they're making to Warlords now is an example of what you can expect to see in Legion.
All right, Mick, what do you think? Are we going to hear about Warlords this BlizzCon?
Sure, here's a bold one. Time walking raids for patch 6.2.4.
All right, Ben?
Yeah, we are going to hear them reiterate the whole, this is what we've learned on the design of Warlords. This is what we're doing to change it in Legion. Now, I'm not talking about what's coming up in the patch. I'm talking about kind of what they did with that one Q&A, kind of what they did when they actually announced Legion, saying, we're not going to, have you be the leader in the garrison. You're going to be out doing stuff. Just basically them owning up to what they did before and saying, this is how we're actually improving it. We've had more time to develop this in Legion as opposed to this past patch that we had.
Okay.
And Draven in the chat, they have not specifically said that this is how it's going to be in Legion. You can assume that and you can suppose that from their language, but they have not outright said it's going to be that way in Legion.
Ro getting in a fight with the chat room. I predict that will happen every time he's on the show because he told us not to do that one time. And then he always comes on the show and does it. We're going to start with Mick on this one because I'm actually able to keep track of it right now at the moment. We'll see how long that lasts.
Fantastic.
What is the big surprise pertaining to World of Warcraft this year?
Well, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna.
Okay.
There is no big surprise as it pertains to World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft is the sacrificial Gamescom event this year. And so they blew the entire clip of ammo at Gamescom. Everything else for World of Warcraft, and as it pertains to everything else, there's not going to be a big surprise. It's simply just going to be, we have an expansion coming out. We're really excited about it. Here's more information. And we hope you guys all stay subscribed until Legion. That's going to be the message.
We really, really hope. Ben, big surprise?
Big surprise is going to have to do with Legion. We have all these artifact weapons dropping, right? Some of them belong to people right now.
Yes.
One of the main leaders who's holding an artifact weapon right now, we're going to find out that one of them is going to die. And if I had to pick, I would say that Tyrion Fordring is going to finally have the grand statue from the sky fall on him.
Oh man, poor Tyrion.
That might not be particularly how he dies, but he will die.
If he dies, you're going to get bonus points for killing him off in your own narrative with a statue. If he dies from a statue, then we all win.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Ro, what about you? What is the big surprise for World of Warcraft this year?
It's not a good one.
Oh, all right. Well,
Mick said that there was going to be nothing. I'm willing to take it further in the opposite direction of bad. And this is a little bold, and the consequences it could have could be dire for WoW. But I just have a feeling, I have an itch, that at some point during the presentation...
Don't say it.
They're going to say beta doesn't start till 2016.
You said something completely different from what I thought you were going to say.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say it's the last expansion.
I have to know what Mick thought Ro was going to say. Here's your chance for extra points just for you. What did you think Ro was going to say?
That it was going to go free to play starting in Legion.
That's what I thought he was going to say. All right.
No.
Good to know. Okay.
I don't think it's going to go free to play. It's not going to go free to play for a long time. I think that they're going to tell us in as tactfully as they can that although they originally said beta was going to happen by the end of the year, that is no longer the case.
Benjamin J. Bumhofer.
Yes.
Is that really your middle initial?
It is.
Oh, look at that.
You remembered something about me. It's a first.
This is your last chance to get points in the WoW category.
Okay.
You get one general, can be anything pertaining to WoW prediction. Go now.
Will you accept Murlocs? You'll know it when you see it.
Sure, but I will warn you, you might have to double down later.
That was my joking answer, actually.
Okay. All right. Well, that's my legitimate answer when I was playing. So,
yeah, I know.
It's fine.
Just because it's a callback to our own show. I'm being meta.
All right. That's how callbacks work. Great.
Yeah, that's how they work.
Got it.
Pretty much.
If you have to explain them, they're better.
And this is why I love it when Mick comes on the show.
Ben, what's your non-callback answer?
My non-callback answer is that... Murlocs, you'll know it when you see it.
Great! There we go!
I don't know.
No.
I actually, I was planning on using my famous lore person dies as my big thing, but I'm like, oh, well, I thought that was it for WoW, so, oh well.
Oh, surprise. There was one more.
Yeah.
Now you've got Murlocs, you'll know it when you see it. Worked out well for me, so we'll see how it does for you.
Yes, we will.
Ro, general WoW prediction time. You get one.
Just one, huh?
Just one.
We're going to find out how many major content patches that they have planned for Legion, and it's going to be 3.
Wow. That's
I just want to say...
triple the amount we got this expansion.
Yes.
Just to throw that out there.
And you hate math.
Mick, general WoW prediction.
I'm sorry, I'm confused as to what we've been doing all along at this point, but here's another one. Price for the expansion.
Okay. That's sure. Why not? So the general, let me be clear, because we're about to get into a lot of general predictions here. It is just essentially a chance for free points. A chance to say something that doesn't fit necessarily into a category I've already given you, and to potentially earn a couple more points.
Are we going to do another go-around?
I don't think any of you are going to get bonus points from that one, but, you know, we'll see.
Okay, then I would like to throw my hat in the ring one more time, if that's okay, inviting the other two to do it as well.
Nope.
Okay.
So, we're moving on to Diablo. Diablo kind of feels like a stepchild at this here BlizzCon. If, you know, the adopting parents are jerks. Because, hey, you know what? Stepchildren are alright. They're fine. We shouldn't... Anyway. So, let's give one general prediction about Diablo. Are we going to hear anything about it? Is it going to be any good? Do we have hope for Diablo fans out there? Ro, we're starting with you.
It's a two-parter for me because obviously I need to double down on the expansion, on the announcement of a second expansion. Along with that, we are going to hear fairly in-depth details on what they're going to bring us for patch 2.4.
Okay. Mick, am I going to get good news?
Nope. Diablo 3 fans are SOL this year.
Oh, man. Mick, you're making me sad. You had me real happy at the beginning, and I'm getting sadder as this thing moves on.
Well, I don't like to lie to you, John.
Ben?
Well, let me ask you a question
Diablo's
first.
biggest fan.
Hey, I like the game. It's fun. I just don't play it a lot. Okay, so, John, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Did you enjoy playing Diablo 3 on your home console?
Yes.
Okay, well, have I got good news for you. They are going to be adding seasonal character play to the console versions of Diablo 3.
That's exciting. I can hear an echo of me for some reason.
You shouldn't.
Okay. It seems to be gone now, maybe.
Okay. It's
All
not
right.
on the recording, at least.
Great. That's a prediction I can get behind. Mick, StarCraft. We're at the end, finally. It comes out right after BlizzCon, but are we really done with StarCraft?
Yes.
Okay.
I talked to Chris Sigatti at the America's Championship, and while he didn't expressly say that it was done, I could get the sense, the feeling there was a lot of emotion about this particular expansion coming out, and that there was a sense of finality amongst the team.
All right.
I think that if it is to go on in the future, it will be in the distant future, and it will be with a different team.
So that big, long future StarCraft 2 panel, think it's going to be a shrug? Or is it a smoke screen?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. All right, Ben, what do you
Yes.
think?
StarCraft 2 never really dies because, guess what, John? Esports. They're going to talk about balance changes. They're going to talk about their esport plan. They're going to talk about how they're going to try to make StarCraft 2 one of the leading names in esports. Because StarCraft 1 was for a long time.
All right, Ro, what am I getting out of StarCraft 2?
Out of StarCraft 2, you are going to hear about their plans to improve upon Archon mode and the Allied Commanders mode. They're going to go into more detail about how they're going to add additional missions and perhaps new commanders for the Allied Commanders mode. So you don't just use Raynor, Kerrigan, and Artanis. I could see them possibly adding in Nova for the Terrans, and maybe Zagara for the Zerg, and there'll be other Allied Commander options they're going to introduce. I do think there's more development in plan for StarCraft 2 Legacy of the Void, just as there's been extra development for Diablo 3. That said, I still think that the future of StarCraft 2 panel is a smokescreen, and I don't think that that panel is actually going to happen. I think they are going to save that information that I just talked about for a different panel.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've reached a very special part of the show. It is Ben's turn to answer a question, so it is only fitting that we ask him about his all-time favorite game. Ben, Hearthstone, is it getting an expansion at BlizzCon?
Yes, that's going to have a Death Knight in it.
All right.
It's also going to have a monk in it.
All right.
Yeah.
Ro, Hearthstone, any talk about an expansion?
The pattern seems to be we get adventure expansion, adventure expansion. So if we follow the same pattern, you would think the next thing will be an adventure. I'm going to say they are actually going to break from this pattern, and they are going to give us an expansion. I also think that they are going to talk about how they are going to handle the rotation of cards as new expansions come in. We're going to be approaching a point where there's a lot of expansions to track. And I have a feeling that they are going to discuss how only certain sets, like the most recent sets in the basic set, will be used for tournament play in 2016.
All right, Mick, any word on a Hearthstone expansion?
Negative on the Hearthstone expansion. It's going to be a Hearthstone adventure, and it's going to be Icecrown Citadel. And also, we're going to see a new game mode that showcases the 3v3 option that we'll see in the collegiate tournament.
Ooh, look at that.
So your ability to create a Hearthstone team within the game, play 3v3 in tournaments.
So, because Ben loves Hearthstone so much, I have allowed an additional prediction for Hearthstone.
Oh.
Because he loves it so. This is going to be a general Hearthstone prediction. This is your chance to say maybe a card you think's coming, maybe a character that's going to be featured. Are we getting a new hero or alternate version of a hero? The world is your Hearthstone oyster. Ro, we'll start with you. General Hearthstone prediction.
I did say that they're going to announce an expansion instead of an adventure. I think that the theme of the expansion is going to revolve around the Caverns of Time.
Interesting. Mick, general Hearthstone prediction.
General Hearthstone prediction. There's going to be at least 2 new extra hero portraits introduced. Most likely Shaman and most likely Rogue.
Ooh, I like the sound of that because I like rogues. Ben.
Well, I was going to say that there's going to be 2 new portraits in there.
Go ahead. Go ahead. That's
Rogue,
a good prediction.
Rogue, which is going to be Garona. That's done.
Okay.
And Priest,
like
it's going to be Yrel.
Yrel.
Or, no, wait, she's a Paladin. Paladin. It's going to be Yrel.
You know, if the Priest is Yrel, Ben...
We've broken the game.
This is how much Ben loves Hearthstone. It makes him completely forget everything he learned about Warcraft as well.
Yeah, well, it's a Warcraft game. What can I say?
All right. It's time to talk about Blizzard's newest game and newest IP. Let's talk about Overwatch. Now, obviously, when it's all new characters and stuff like that, you can't really predict a character, necessarily. So let's just talk surprises. Ben, are we going to be getting any surprises pertaining to Overwatch this
Yes,
year?
everyone who goes to BlizzCon and has a virtual ticket will eventually be invited into the beta. Also,
that is some generic language from Ben.
Wait, hold on.
Eventually, isn't everyone going to get into the beta when it becomes open beta?
I mean, before it becomes open beta. I apologize.
I'm just keeping you honest, man.
I thought I was being that specific, but I guess not. Secondly, they're going to be adding a melee-based character into Overwatch who uses probably a katana or some sort of Japanese sword.
I would give you points for having it be a bold prediction, except that's totally in the art for Overwatch. And
it is?
You know, I'm gonna say that seems like a pretty good good bet.
I honestly had no idea.
Ro, surprises.
I can't really talk about the new characters because they aren't surprises, because over the past couple of days they've already put out a couple of teasers that indicate they're going to introduce new characters. So we know that they're going to at least introduce 2 characters, if not more. That's not safe. What's a surprise? I think the surprise we are going to hear in regards to Overwatch is that there are going to be multiple game modes, and that the 6v6 gameplay that we've seen so far on streams and previously at BlizzCon, that is not the only game mode. I believe we are going to be introduced to at least one of the additional game modes for Overwatch.
All right, Mick, surprises for Overwatch.
Surprises for Overwatch, you're going to know exactly how you're going to pay for this game, because it certainly is not going to be free. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Blizzard's first AAA video game. It will be one box, you buy it, you get to play it, there will be DLC, and I'm predicting they're going to announce that it will be available on Xbox and PS4.
Mick's really good at this, you guys.
Did you see the leak in the code that came out today of the Xbox and PlayStation 4 like lobby coding?
No, but there was a leak in Battle.net about 3 weeks ago that said it would be available on console and PC.
It also maps really nicely to my Xbox One controller that I have plugged
There's
in.
there's no. We're going to diverge away from the format for a second. There is no way that Overwatch is going to be to reach its full monetary value as a PC-only shooter.
Oh, definitely.
It's designed for consoles in mind, too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If anyone thinks that this is not Blizzard's attempt to create their first really... I mean, Diablos had been successful on the console for sure, but a game that launches with the intent to be available on PC on consoles, this will be their first. Mm-hmm. You're going to pay $59.99 for it, and then every 6 months you're going to pay another $14.99 for more heroes or more maps or skins or whatever.
I think they'll go the Street Fighter route as far as like having a season pass where if you buy the season pass then you get whatever DLC they offer during that 3-month period, or you could buy the characters separately.
Yeah, either way, that's fine with me. I just don't think we're going to see like the Heroes of the Storm free-to-play model. Certainly not going to be subscription-based.
Yeah.
And you're going to pay for more content over time with this.
Yeah, especially with how you can, like, you know, change characters mid-fight and everything like that. It doesn't make sense to have them all locked away underneath any form of pay separately.
Okay, so I guess here's something... I really hope that this question gets asked, and I want them to hopefully confirm this. I don't know if switching heroes is going to be a part of the actual game when it ships. I think that the ability to switch heroes right now is just something in the beta so that it allows us to try all the different heroes. I really can't see them allowing us to change heroes in the middle of an actual game.
Well, I mean, obviously it's a feature that's available right now. It's getting very high positives for that exact feature. So I think it's going to be tough for them to switch away. I think the people who've been playing it, people who are anticipating playing it, I mean, we're looking at video game cycles in a completely different world now with the advent of Twitch and how many folks are tuning in. And Lord knows people are watching this beta like crazy. You've only got about 6,000 or 8,000 players that are playing Overwatch right now, and yet it is the #1 streamed game on Twitch and has been since the beta released this week. Only shockingly supplanted by the frickin' Bob Ross Twitch channel this week.
Those happy little trees in the almighty brush, man.
Exactly. So I think with so many players now looking at that and enjoying that feature and speaking highly of that feature, I think I would like to see it go away, Ro, but I just have a hard feeling that they're going to be able to pull the ripcord and parachute out of that one.
Well, clearly, we all have a lot to say about Overwatch. And I liked everything you had to say. I liked it so much that here's a chance to pad your numbers a little bit. One more general Overwatch prediction from all of you. I don't know who we're on anymore because you all just talked a lot, and now I've completely lost my place. So, Ben, take it away.
I do agree that the pricing model is going to be, hey, you buy the box, you get the game, all that stuff. I think we're kind of all in agreement maybe at that point. What I will say is that definitely it will be PC versus PC. It'll be console versus console because of the whole, you know, keyboard, mouse versus controller and everything like that. That being said, I believe that they are going to announce hey, if you get in or if you buy Overwatch, what you're going to get, if you get like a special edition version of it, is in WoW you're going to get a little Tracer Murloc. In StarCraft you're going to get like a Winston portrait or something. Diablo's going to get a banner, and then also, I don't know, maybe some sort of headgear or something like Black Widow. What am I missing? Hearthstone, Hearthstone you're going to get a card, because that's what they do in that, and maybe a back, because that's also what they do in that. And last but not least, you're going to get free access to Tracer, who is going to be the first character in Heroes of the Storm from Overwatch.
All right. Now I want to point out, just so everybody knows, because this was only a place for one additional prediction, everything Ben just said counts as a single prediction.
So
if he is right on 75% of it, it is still an incorrect prediction. Just to be clear, ahead of time. Ro, one additional prediction on Overwatch.
Yeah, I can give one. We already got a teaser earlier today about this character Diva, which in the fiction is supposed to be a StarCraft esports champion. I will go ahead and talk about what I believe her abilities are going to be revolved around. I think that she is going to be introduced as a specialist type character who is kind of like a summoner pet class type of thing. I think that her abilities are going to focus on actually being able to summon or create StarCraft type characters that attack with her. So it may be she summons Zerglings or she summons little Protoss things. I think she basically is a character that brings her gaming to life and uses that as weapons against her opponents.
All right. Mick, one more prediction for Overwatch.
Blizzard announces their action figure toy line for Overwatch with NECA, which is making some of their other products right now in the action figure world. So action figure line and toys and pictures of them and all that good fun stuff.
All right.
I like that. See, the thing about Mick's predictions is that all of his are really cool things that I want to happen. So you're just going to make me sad if you're wrong.
I dream big, man. I dream big.
All right, that concludes the Overwatch portion. Now let's get into Heroes of the Storm. I'm very excited about this. So there are 3 different potential point gaining categories. Managed to say it. Ro, pretty safe bet we're getting new heroes announced at BlizzCon, sure, all things considered. So here's your chance to make a prediction pertaining to new heroes. You can predict who they are, what they'll be, where they'll be from, but keep in mind you get more points for being more specific. Prediction on new heroes.
We get introduced to 3. Gul'dan from World of Warcraft, Deckard Cain from Diablo, and Arcturus Mengsk from StarCraft.
I like it. That was calling out people. Mick, what do you think for new heroes?
Heroes of the Storm, we will see Vol'jin from the World of Warcraft, which will be a ranged support character. We are going to see out of the world of Diablo the Wizard, and out of the world of StarCraft, we will see. I have no idea.
Are you trying to find a name?
Nope. I was just trying to scrape it in my head, but I don't have a good one. Oh, I'm sorry. Here it was. We're going to see some level of a Fireback character out of StarCraft.
I mean, I'm surprised so far nobody has stolen my amazing prediction, which I included abilities for, of Edmund Duke on Twitter recently, which I thought was a fantastic character design. You're still free to use it. Ben, as the last answer, you can certainly steal it. I thought it was a phenomenal and bold choice.
Well, considering they've done 3 characters, I'm also going to be doing 3 characters. Again, Tracer from Overwatch, Assassin. I also think that they're going to put probably Mercy in as support and maybe Winston in as a warrior. That's right.
Oh, wow.
I am going all out on Overwatch.
You're going all Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've already resigned the fact that I'm not going to win. So I'm going to have fun with my predictions.
So you believe that they are going to change their stance. They initially said that they were not planning to put Overwatch characters in until the game was actually out.
I didn't say they're putting them in right now. I'm just saying this is what they're showing.
Okay.
All right.
I don't remember them
That's
saying
exciting.
that either.
There's
So
also very strong evidence that we are getting new battlegrounds going to be announced at BlizzCon. Strong evidence supporting this. Now, I'm not expecting you to name what they're going to be called, because they're most likely going to be made up, but maybe they won't be. So, I want you to predict the universe that the next battleground will come from. I don't know whose turn it is. Someone say something.
I think that I will go universe, but I'm also going to go a step further. I think there is going to be our first StarCraft universe map, and I think that the mechanics involved with the map are going to be... have you guys played story mode of StarCraft 2? Have all of you?
Kind of.
Do you remember Wings of Liberty, specifically Char, where at different points the lava rises up and goes down, so your certain paths are cut off at different times? That was one of the things when they were first developing this game, they were and talking about Heroes of the Storm, they said it'd be really cool to try to simulate something like that. I think we finally see something like that. Is it going to be called Char? Not necessarily. It may get some other name or something. But I think we're going to see a map mechanic where the paths change from one moment to the next.
All right. Mick,
StarCraft.
what do you think?
Well, I would just like to point out that Dark Oikis has my favorite StarCraft lava mission suggested as a map. I'm not going to take that one. Ro, I think, is right on with the StarCraft, but to be a contrarian, because that's fun, they will introduce a map, and it will be called Warsong Gulch.
Oh, look at that. Will there be a capture the flag element?
That is correct. There will be a capture the flag element.
Cool. That'll be interesting. All right. Ben?
You will capture flags, and if you are able to get them back to your base, you are going to unleash a series of catapults that will progress down the lane and do damage to enemy structures.
I like the sound of this. I'm already excited for this map. Ben, it's your turn. You gotta give us a map or a universe.
I'm going with the Karazhan map.
Okay.
There's stuff in it. That's as far as I've gotten.
See, I thought you were going to go with an Overwatch map.
No.
A very, very vertical place for a game not known for verticality, but maybe that's what makes it interesting.
This is how Blizzard
Actually,
works.
not true, Ben. It is known slightly for verticality.
Oh, that's
the Haunted
right.
Mines has 2 levels, one below the other.
I like to forget Haunted Mines sometimes.
It's going to be like Star Trek chess, 3 levels.
3 levels. All right, that's, you know what, that actually sounds kind of cool. So I support your decision, even if I don't think it'll happen. But what do I know?
You're
I'm
king.
just the champion. So, last chance to earn some points here. Ro, General, Heroes of the Storm prediction time. One thing.
One thing. We are given more details about how the esport tournament structure for Heroes of the Storm is going to take place next year. This year's structure was relatively short as far as the seasons go. You had a 3-month qualifier system, stuff like that. I think they're going to go year-round with this thing, very similar to how StarCraft is. So my prediction is they're going to tell us the model for esports for Heroes of the Storm tournaments going forward in 2016.
Okay, that's a good prediction. Mick, I am going to skip you for a moment.
Damn it!
Because I want to do something fun here. And I'm going to briefly go with Ben. Ben, one chance for a general prediction here.
General prediction, they're going to add a new mode to Heroes of the Storm. I'm not talking team match. I'm not talking, any sort of thing like that. I'm talking they're going to add some sort of death match. Throw a whole bunch of heroes in an arena, and last one standing wins.
So Blizzard's take on ARAM.
I don't know what ARAM is, Ro.
In League of Legends, ARAM's all random, all mid, so it's basically just a single lane, and you go. And you have random characters, and you just beat each other up.
Cool. Then that.
Mick, I have made a prediction because we are all making predictions here, and I have typed on my phone what I believe your prediction's going to be. So,
Text
Mick,
it to me.
What is your prediction?
My prediction for Heroes of the Storm, or at least my extra bonus prediction or flavor prediction, is that we will see the roadmap towards how to fix matchmaking and the issue of matchmaking in Heroes of the Storm, whether that's the introduction of a pick a team feature similar to League of Legends, or whether or not it is going to be an additional tier between quick match and ranked play. We are going to definitely see the fix that so many players have been asking for. I didn't see what was on the camera.
Fix MMR.
Oh, and yes, you will hear, at long last, the confirmation of a soft reset of MMR.
All right.
And if you don't, ladies and gentlemen, you can guarantee that at 4:30 p.m. on Friday, when I'm sitting in front of those developers in my interview session, I will ask until I get the answer that I want.
I've had a hunch that might be your feelings. Just a hunch. While we're on the subject of Heroes of the Storm, let's move into esports. Now, I know some of us follow this more than others. There are a few questions later on for bonus points that will maybe favor some other people. But speaking of esports, I tried to take it easy on all of you, because I know some of you are not as into it as some of us. So you have to pick a winner. That can mean whatever you want. But I get to still decide how many points you get for it. Mick, pick a winner.
Pick a winner for each of the matches, or for
nope,
what?
Just one winner. Pick a winner. What does that mean to you?
I am going to continue on with my pick, and I know it's going to make a lot of North American fans sad, but Na'Vi will take the WCS at Blizzcon this year.
That does make me a little sad, but I kind of like them, so it's not totally sad, but it's a little sad. Ben, pick a winner.
Everyone who watches the Heroes of the Storm final match. We will all be winners because it is going to be fan-fucking-tastic.
Whoa! Now you have to bleep something. That's how into it Ben is.
Mm-hmm.
Ro, pick a winner.
Cloud9 versus Team DK in the grand finals. Team DK wins.
All right. Everybody picked a winner. Let's go to the closing of the first night. Contests. Costume contest tends to be the popular one of the bunch because the others seem to feel like the exact same thing every year. It is time to pick which universe the winning costume is going to come from. Ben, what universe is the winning costume coming from?
Overwatch.
Ro, which universe?
World of Warcraft.
Mick, which universe?
StarCraft.
All right. Good calls. I like this. I like that you're not picking the same things. This is fantastic for me as a judge. It's going to make it very easy. It's time for bonus points! Thanks for something. Here's where I'm going to throw out a bunch of random things. You pick the answer that you think will get you points, basically. Ro, you have to pick John's highlight of the show.
John's highlight of the show. Something that happens during the Heroes of the Storm tournament, because that's where you're spending most of your time.
Super vague. Mick, what is John's highlight of the show?
John's highlight of the show will be that moment when he gets stuck in an escalator with Mike Morheim, and he's able, for at least a full 37 minutes, to glad hand Mike Morheim until Mike says, "Yes, John, you can be my personal assistant. We'll move you from Arizona to Irvine next week."
Awesome. I really hope you're right. That sounds great.
I would like to point out that he did say escalator.
I believe I said elevator, but
he said escalator.
You did say escalator.
Look, all of you, leave Mick alone. He's predicting a bright and amazing future for me. I hope
369 podcasts this year, guys. I'm a little fat at this point.
I don't care where it is.
Well, look,
like
let's put it this way. Knowing that it's BlizzCon, there's a chance that you could get stuck on an escalator depending on who's in front and behind you.
Okay.
Last year,
can
I got
hear-
stuck on an elevator with Life from StarCraft.
Whoa, I can hear the echo real bad right now.
I have no idea why.
Okay. Just now I hear an echo for everybody.
Is your Twitch on?
Mine is not.
Does anybody else hear the echo?
No.
Yes.
Ro can hear the echo.
Yes.
Okay, hold on. Let me see what I can figure out here.
I only have the chat room open.
I don't know.
I don't hear the echo now.
I think it's gone away.
Yep, it is gone.
Okay.
That
well,
might be a Skype thing.
You fixed it, Ben. Good job.
maybe.
All right, next. Wait, did it? No, Ben didn't get a chance yet.
Nope.
Ben, what's my highlight of the show?
When you get to meet Samwise, one of the artists that you love, that you follow, that I know you would like to sit in and watch his sessions.
I like that you explained who he was to me. That added to it.
It was for other people who don't know who he is, because you know who he is.
Okay. Jaina. Are we going to hear anything about Jaina? Ro? Oh, wait, Mick?
No.
No, nothing about Jaina.
And you know why?
Why?
Because who cares?
Caligos. Caligos cares. Ben, are we going to hear anything about Jaina?
Yes, someone will play her in the Heroes of the Storm match.
That's a really good guess. Ro, are we going to hear anything about Jaina?
Ben took my answer.
Finally! You guys have been taking mine all night!
I mean, I've got to agree with Ben. Yes, because Jaina's going to be mentioned in the Heroes of the Storm tournament.
Here's an important one to at least one of you. Ben,
Yes?
is Blizzard going to fix the Heroes of the Storm MMR?
Yes.
Ro, is Blizzard going to fix the Heroes of the Storm MMR?
At BlizzCon, no.
Mick, will Blizzard fix the Heroes of the Storm MMR?
Yes. There has to be a better solution to fix to MMR in its current state than having to roll a completely new account.
That question might have been put in there for you, on the off chance that you didn't talk about it before now.
It's okay. I understand where I'm being herded. I will go to the water to drink.
Not that anybody would ever predict who this question might be in there for. Ro, what pet battle stuff are we going to hear about?
I don't think we're going to hear any pet battle stuff at BlizzCon, actually.
Mick, we going to learn more about pet battles, the future? See a pet?
Pet Battle mobile iOS and Android game.
Can I play it on my Epic bracelet?
No, you cannot play it on your Epic Bracer. However, your Epic Bracer will come with a Bluetooth-enabled authenticator, so that's close.
That's exciting. I like this.
Technology!
Ben, I know you really don't care at all about pet battles, but you got an opinion on this?
The only mention of pet battles will be somebody asking about pet battles and Blizzard saying, we are not making any changes to the system, it's working just fine.
Will this person be you and or Aludra?
Possibly. Possibly.
Okay. Ben, while we're here talking to you, because the order has stopped mattering altogether at this point, it's just devolved into chaos.
It's the bonus
and
round.
madness.
It's fine.
I need you to predict an artifact weapon.
Like a specific one that's someone that we know about already?
No, you can't pick one we already know about. That's not predicting. That's just giving me information I
No,
already know.
I mean like, I know this character, like I know Vol'jin and his bow is going to be an artifact weapon, like something like that.
If that's what you think, sure. Or you can just say like, I think rogues are going to get size.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. Okay. Well, in that case, I think that priests are going to get an artifact offhand that is a book.
Is it a holy book?
It would probably be a holy book, not intended for shadow. If anything, it is intended for holy.
Okay. Ro, predict an
Yes.
artifact weapon.
Charlemagne.
Okay. That was quick. Like, you had time to think about it. Mick,
To be more specific for people who don't know what that is, it's Varian Rin sword.
Oh.
Mick, predict an artifact weapon.
No. Somebody found my kryptonite, which is Warcraft weapon lore.
Well, you got the MMR thrown at you, so it's only fair.
This question was
Protection
not designed-
warrior shield of some kind.
Didn't they already
This
say
might-
that?
This might
Called Bulwark of the Who Gives a Shit.
Well, I was going to call it a safe prediction, but then it went down a path, and now, if it's correct, you stand to win quite a few points. Ro, is this year the year of the dance studio?
No.
Mick, is it dance studio time?
Yes, but not in the way that you're thinking, John. I plan to have a few drinks and to get down and get funky at the Well Played Party, which is happening from 7 to 11 p.m. Friday, November 6th at the Anaheim Hilton Hotel.
So, question. If I do not see you dancing at the well-played party, is this prediction then considered wrong?
John has to see him dancing.
I would say I have to see him dance.
Okay.
Doesn't matter if you see it. I have to see it.
And I have only one thing to say to that contingency that you've entered into this made-up game show, and that is, oh shit.
Ben?
I would like to go on
Dance
the record and say that this is not a made-up game show. We are actually doing it right now. But that being said, the dance party will not be added into World of Warcraft.
The dance party?
Dance studio will not be
Like
added
a
into
political
World of
party
Warcraft.
who's way into dancing?
That'd be great. We settle all of our debates with a dance-off.
That's,
Oh,
all right.
Great.
Cool. I'm all for it. Final question. We're going to start... You know what? We'll start where we ended. Began. Wait, hold on.
What?
I don't know. It's late. This episode has gone longer than normal now.
By 14 minutes.
Yeah, and I've gotten punch drunk. I've gotten used to a certain way of life, Ben. You can't take it away from
You
me.
have
Can't change it.
power!
This is the final prediction. Ben, where are the Murlocs?
The Murlocs are in all of us.
You are getting
Okay,
jack shit
fine,
for that
fine.
answer.
The Murlocs are going to be seen in the Legion presentation.
Ro, where are the Murlocs?
The Murlocs are going to be featured as one of the cards from the next upcoming Hearthstone content.
And Mick, where are the Murlocs?
The Murlocs are going to be sold as a plushie toy in the Blizzard store in Hall E. Right?
It's pretty accurate.
That's the thing, right? They sell Murloc
Can I
things there,
change
yeah?
my answer to you'll know them when you see them?
Yes, you can. You
That
can
is my
do
new
that.
answer.
You'll know it when you see it. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the prediction portion of our BlizzCon 2015 coverage.
Woo!
Next week, we will be at BlizzCon proper. We will be doing a show that will
Live
be
show.
on Saturday. It will be live streamed. It will be chaos, as it typically is.
Yes.
The following week, we
Well,
will
hold on,
reconvene.
hold on. If you would like to come and join us as we record live, we will be in front of a live studio audience. It is going to be in the AIE Guild Hall at 5 p.m. on Saturday. That's going to be in the Hilton. I'm not entirely sure exactly where. Probably somewhere on the second floor, but we'll tweet it out.
Will you have special guests attending your live presentation at 5 o'clock at the AIE Guild Hall, which will be happening in the Anaheim Hilton Hotel?
Yes. Those special guests will be whoever we kind of come across and say, hey, you want to be on the show?
We do the dangerous thing of leaving an open chair and basically letting people sit in it. It is a terrifying prospect and
Are you going
rarely
to
works out well for us, but dang it, it's a tradition, and we're keeping it alive. We will be back the following week after BlizzCon to reconvene and determine who the winner, the new king, and the new champion of Azeroth Roundtable is. It's going to be very exciting, so make sure you check that out as well. We will have all those details on our Twitter. You can follow us at AzerothRT. You can check out our website, AzerothRoundtable.com. If you want to email us, you can email us at AzerothRoundtable@gmail.com. I don't know what music our intro contained, because...
Although reaction by Kevin MacLeod.
But did Ben play it? Do we know?
Oh, that's
Yes.
a good...
You seem awfully certain.
Ben will be playing it. It also includes Take a Chance, also by Kevin MacLeod, where you can find his music at incompetech.com.
And the good parts of the Ice Crown Citadel cutscene.
So Invincible. That's not by Kevin MacLeod, though.
No, that's by Blizzard.
Yeah.
Until next time, everybody.
Well, where can they
For-
find us?
You know what? They can find us on this show again after BlizzCon, where we'll properly pimp whatever we want. Alright, fine. Bro, where can people find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Rowow, RHOWOW, and I do the Realm Maintenance Podcast. Follow that at Realm Podcast.
Fantastic. Mick, where can people find you?
You can check me out and all the shows I do in one location, which is spazbotstudios.com. They will have links to all the shows I do, including Stormcast, The Starting Zone, Super Heroic, and Dead Fans Talking. You can also check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com/spazbotstudios. We're doing a new weekly vlog there called The Spazbot Signals, just launched actually today. And last but certainly not least, if you'd like to check our shows out live, you can go ahead and follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/spazbotstudios.
All right, Ben, where can people find you?
Follow me on Twitter. I'm at Ben the Mage. I also do Geektopia and Battle Pets. Listen to them. They're awesome.
Awesome! Thank you, everybody, for joining us. That's a show.
Bye, everybody!
Bye-bye!
And yes, for everybody who is asking, the shirt ad led the show tonight. So if you don't think we did one, it's because you missed it and not because we didn't do one.
And we are done recording.
Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
It's a slew of predictions I'm going to have to
I'm
transcribe.
totally coming in third place.
No, I am. Mick, you are winning this year. I hope you appreciate that. It is a
Don't I
great
have to
honor.
actually
I
get
don't-
answers correct?
Yeah.
To get
I
points?
I don't see how Mick... Well, no, here's the thing, though. I think that Ben might have the most number of correct predictions.
But I have the most number of incorrect as well.
But I think Mick's going to win on points.
Well, see, that's how John judges differently than previous judges. It's worth
Yes.
1 point. It's not worth, like, a slew of 10.
It's worth a lot of points. There are many points to be had, but that assumes we get to where the points matter. You know, the points are very important should we get there. That means that at least 2 or more of you have to have had enough accurate predictions to where I can't just look at what you said and said that's who won.
I think saying Chris Metzen's not going to be in the opening ceremony is a big deal.
I thought that was a really interesting and fantastic prediction.
It's probably my best one, too. It all went downhill from there.
John, they want to hear the t-shirt ad again.
All right, play the opening bit again.
Okay, hold on. Let me get it here.
I don't know if
Wrong
it's
one. Hold on.
great,
There we
but...
go.
BlizzCon 2015 Azeroth Roundtable's BlizzCon 2015 Prediction Show is brought to you by the official Azeroth Roundtable t-shirt, available now at /loot.com. If you're going to BlizzCon, you better go with the Murloc.
Father, is it over? At long last. No king rules forever, my son. I see only darkness. For
Oh, it's sad. I'm not going to be king anymore, you guys.
Yeah, but you know what? You didn't take advantage of the power when you could have.
I took advantage of it tonight, though.
Yeah.
Hence
Still have
the
the
crown.
And you keep moving, so I tried to keep moving it too.
Yeah, so there y'all go. That's the ad. How weird is it that we have gotten to a odd point with this show where people are actually worried that we might not have done the ads? There was a brief talk of like, hey, if we ever did a Patreon, what would be the kinds of things we could do? And I had a long, hard thought about, would removing ads actually encourage people to support us, or would it actually be a bad thing? For whatever reason, that part of the show seems to be very popular.
I think it's filled the vacuum that was created by the absence of CMT.
Just, when is John
They
going
needed
to
something to cling on to, since they no longer had Celebrity Murloc Theater. The t-shirt ad, guys! We need the t-shirt ad!
Oh, man. Finally, the time for the t-shirt is now.
Yeah.
Well, there are different podcasts that where people that's one of the parts they look forward to the most are the ads. Like what pretty much anything Gimlet Media does. A lot of the stuff that the shows on 5x5 do, 5x5 Network, that's a big deal on their shows is how the ads are done. So it doesn't
There's
surprise
some
me.
podcasts that do parody ads too.
Yeah,
Like
doesn't
Storm
surprise
Chasers
me.
of Azeroth does parody ads all the time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I can get behind that.
Okay.
The only problem is that gives me no ideas on what we could offer patrons. So
You thinking hey, we're gonna do a Patreon and ad free is gonna be one of our.
that was the initial thought.
Well, dude, you don't do that until you're at 10,000 a month or something like that.
Well, we have one ad and it's for a shirt, and I'm pretty sure
yeah,
Ben
it's
never
fine.
gets any money from that. Actually,
I did last year while I was at BlizzCon.
yeah.
It actually paid for the swag that I got, because I'm like, well, I've been paying for this for 2 years. I'm gonna keep the money. It's reimbursing me.
Yeah.
That's what it's there for.
Look, here's the thing, and I'm really specific when I say this, and I'm not just saying this because I have a show that has a Patreon. Ro has a show that has a Patreon. Yeah.
Yeah, $100 a month.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Here's the thing: people do work, and they work hard, and they provide you value. There should be some compensation for that. And if you value people that create content for you, it's okay for them to figure out ways in which you can support them. And if that support also adds value, then it's a win. If you dig the fact that the show sells T-shirts and you love the fact that the ads are funny and fun, then buy the T-shirt and everybody wins. That's the reality of it. There are too many people out there that give content creators crap for asking to be compensated for putting in a lot of hard work and for years have done it for free. Mm-hmm. And that has got to end. Plain and simple. And I see this time and time again where someone will launch a Patreon or launch a Kickstarter or start selling a T-shirt, and then people start criticizing them for that, and that's just wrong. Because on the end of the person that's doing the criticism, that's coming from a selfish place. And it's also coming from a place of jealousy. Plain and simple.
I think that part of it, this could be like a discussion for a whole other podcast, right? But
yeah, it is.
I honestly think that the reason why there's that conflict, that drama, for lack of a better word, is because a lot of podcasters, at least in the WoW sphere of things, right? A lot of WoW podcasters enter into it from doing it purely as a hobby, as a passion of love, perhaps to get noticed by people more, sure. Everyone has their motives, but it's weird. There's almost this kind of stigma, at least in the WoW circle for the most part, where it's seen as taboo to try to make something out of it, unless you happen to be the #1 or #2 podcast out there.
But even if you're the #1 or #2 podcast, they still get crap as well for it.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
The reality of the situation is I think it comes from, and by the way, I'll be perfectly blunt and honest, it comes a lot from World of Warcraft podcasters, the ones that don't actually charge or do anything. Mm-hmm. And there's two that their podcast goes on and off, and they know exactly who I'm talking about when I say this. And I think it just comes from this place of complete and utter jealousy because they don't feel their show is good enough that they should be compensated for it. And so they kind of glom that same feeling on to other content creators and other podcasters and say, well, I do my show for free because I think that's the way it should be. I wouldn't charge people for this content. That's because you don't think that your talent is good enough and you don't think your show is good enough. Those other people do. And it's their right, and it's the decision of their community to support those decisions.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with actually charging your listeners. If they want to contribute, great. I mean, John and I have had people say, you know, it's like, hey, how do I give you money? We're like, buy a shirt.
And I'm at it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, with what's great about, like, the shirt idea, that kind of stuff, and is that you got, you know, you get something cool out of it as the listener. You get something for it. You put in some money. These guys get some cash to help keep the show running. And you get a shirt that you get to wear to Blizzcon, or you get to, maybe they do a meetup somewhere. You guys should definitely try and do a meetup in Arizona or something like that. And you know, you all get, it's something you get to have, or you get to wear it, and you never know. I've heard folks, you know, tell stories of buying a shirt from their favorite show and being out in public and meeting somebody else who listens to that show because they went, hey, you listen to XYZ show. I do too.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of living in a community. It's
I've actually had that happen to me wearing the Torn Think Tank shirt at work. I had someone who listened to Torn Think Tank approach me about that. So yeah, that happens.
Well, you've also had people approach you saying, are you Ro?
Yeah, that's happened a couple of times too, which is weird. That's another weird thing that's going to be weird about this next week. It's like BlizzCon week is all really weird for me because it's like the 1 week out of my life where I'm called Ro in person.
Okay, Brian.
Is this going to be the week? You know what? There you go. Ben, John, you guys need to call me Brian the whole week at BlizzCon just to throw things completely off while everyone else
Well, you're
is
staying with me, so I will do my best.
Okay.
Too late for me. I've already imprinted.
Are you a baby bird?
I've already imprinted.
Yeah, I'm a baby bird, and so he will always be Ro to me.
Just picture you just like you have these gigantic, just happy eyes, like, what's going on in the world?
John, I am glad you are going to BlizzCon.
Can we say how wonderful it is that that's happening?
I'm very, very happy that it's happening. I can also say this. It was going to happen no matter what, because I bought my hotel room before I had my ticket. So I had made a commitment. And the funny thing is, the day before I found out. But, yeah. So
I'm
really excited. I'm so excited I'm going to get to go. I cannot wait.
Yeah,
I can't believe it's next week.
I'm super excited because one, Con Before the Storm, I won't be up there alone, so very happy about that. Two,
you guys, okay, just keep saying what you're saying. Sorry,
I was just going to say, two, I don't have to try to Skype you in for the live show, and three, you're helping pay for gas, so you know it all works out well for me.
That's right.
Well, plus you're a lot of fun on our trip.
I am a fun road trip person. Mick, what were you gonna say?
What time are you guys? Is there a schedule for World of Podcast? Because I think I know what I'm supposed to go on, but I'm worried I don't.
There is. I saw it
for
recently.
Stormcast. Hold on, Con Before the Storm's been tweeting the schedules for everything.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, if you follow Con Before Storm on Twitter, they've been often tweeting what the schedules for each of the different rooms are. Let me pull up the one for World of Podcast just to make sure I have the right one, which is kind of funny considering I was the one who made the World of Podcast schedule.
I know, we're at 7:15.
Yes, you're at 7:15.
And there's a nice long break after us, which is great because we can totally roll over that if we need to, right?
So wait, is the Instance doing a show or not?
Yeah. Scott, okay, so here's the deal. Dills is going to be at the A-Move TV thing, which is starting at 8 o'clock. Terpster's going to be in the area, and Patrick's not going to be there. So basically, it's either going to be Scott, or it's going to be Scott and Terpster. And if it's just Scott, then it will probably be a Q&A thing with someone else sitting in with him.
John.
Maybe me. Maybe John. I don't know if Scott's talked to him about that
We'll
possibility.
just turn it into the core all of a sudden. It won't be the instance. We'll just turn it into the
Right.
Hey, wait a minute. I was told that we have the market on Heroes of the Storm panel. Don't you weasel your damn core show into our Lords of the Stormcast presentation, okay?
Well, technically, I was on the instance once, so I guess it can still be the instance.
That's true.
I have volunteered to help with like the wireless mic for like any kind of open Q&A shenanigans if Scott wants to go that route. So I'll be there in some form, helping out and such. Damn, where is the stupid thing? They've tweeted the schedule like half a dozen times, and I can't pull it up on Twitter for some reason. What the hell?
Well, I'll check my retweets.
Yeah, I could have sworn I saw something about that recently, that we retweeted something.
Oh, that's why. Okay. Because I'm searching the wrong way. Okay.
Lords of the Storm and Stormcast is at 6:30.
Yep.
Sweet. I know what's happening for once. That's great.
This is fantastic news.
And I beat Ro!
Yep. By about 5 seconds.
Train.
Yeah, it's funny because the hype train's right here. The other planners for Calm Before the Storm were like, are the Lords of the Storm going to show up? And they didn't realize it's like, guys, it's just one person from Lords of the Storm.
Yeah, it's just Gizmo.
It's a Lord of the Storm.
It's a Lord of the Storm.
Just the Lord. Just a single solitary Lord.
Just call Gizmo the Lord of the Storm.
The Lordiest Lord of the Storm.
But yeah, so with Torn Think Tank's at 7 and the Azeroth Roundtable's at 7:15, but what I've told Jules, and the same thing goes with you guys, if you guys end up running a little long, it's not the end of the world, because you're between Azeroth Roundtable and the instance is a half an hour of intermission, so...
Yeah, it's not like John and I ever, talk longer than we intend.
Never.
No, never.
It's never happened.
Nope.
Oh man, I got show notes written. I'm all set and ready to go. We got a thing. We've been planning the thing for weeks now.
Really?
Have you?
Oh yeah, we take this shit seriously. If you ask us to show up, we're not just gonna come up there and flim-flam our way through it. We're gonna bring
that
the
would be a
thunder.
real dick move. Anybody?
Yeah. John, we should totally finalize our notes.
Yeah, we'll hold on. I'm there we go. The notes are done. Well, okay, so here's the problem we ran into. So the idea for this year for the panels was, hey, do a segment that you do on your show. Present it. And we were like, cool. And Ro was like, you guys should do Celebrity Murloc Theater. And we're like, you didn't listen to the last episode where we said we're not doing that anymore. And he was like, oh, okay, well, we'll come up with something else then.
So
then we got rid of
you guys
all
gonna
the
do your
segments.
T-shirt ad for the whole thing. It's gonna be amazing.
There
Oh
you
my
go.
God.
Just a
A
15
15-minute long T-shirt ad.
God.
That
No.
would be way too much of an inside joke, but you have no idea how badly I want to do that.
Oh my god.
Ben, I'm going to write a story, a 15-minute long story that goes to nothing but a T-shirt ad at the end. That is the entire payoff at the very end of it.
So I want the listeners in the chat room to see what I just
Well,
managed to
I'll
make
tell
happen.
you what, you guys will sure know how to clear a room for intermission.
Are you kidding? Have you heard John's writing? He's going to captivate everybody so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be. You're gonna need to bring a lot of damn T-shirts to that thing.
Well, maybe I should
One of
order
those
some to
shirt
give away.
cannons.
Oh well.
We're not going to do that, but it would be a fantastic idea if we did.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Even if you have a shirt ad like as part of your 15 minutes.
What if your thing is like all like the pre-bumper to your show? So it's like a little bumper kind of front end to your show, like, hey, we're Ben and John. We're from Azeroth Roundtable. We've been doing a World of Warcraft podcast for about 3 years now. It all started off as an adventure between two friends, and we're excited to see where it has come to now at this point. And by the way, there's something that's really special we do for our show, and we talk about the T-shirt that we sell. So we're going to talk about the T-shirt now. That goes on for 5 minutes. Then You plan a back-end intro, where you also talk about your T-shirt, and then you close out the show. So you only got like 2 minutes of actual content that you have to fill, and that's pretty much going to be. So, what's the big announcement going to be for World of Warcraft, Ben? Oh, I think it's going to be the release date for the expansion. I do too, Ben. All right. Well, questions from the audience? No? Great. Hey,
Sorry,
guys, in case you didn't hear us at the first end of this, man, we have this T-shirt that we sell.
Oh, that would be
That'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
Oh, man. We need to go to Mick when we need panel ideas.
Yes, we
No wonder
do.
he plans this thing. It's good. But we threw out all segments, so now the show is Ben and I talk to each other. So it was like, all right, well, what are we going to do for this thing?
Guys,
yes, we're going to talk to each other.
Just on a completely related and unrelated topic, you know Rem has given us the blessing to whenever resurrect flex mode, right?
Right.
If flex mode is ever resurrected, Mick needs to be on it.
Yes,
what is that?
I agree with that.
It's
Flex Mode is a World of Warcraft lore show for lore that is not, in fact, real. It is 100% made-up lore.
on the spot.
On the spot, ad-libbed, and it typically involves Tyrion Fordring being crushed by a statue.
Yes.
Think
I will
whose line
say-
is it anyway meets World of Warcraft lore.
Improv audio show.
Yeah.
So
I
would
think
it
the best
work
thing-
similar to the Taco Bell conference room session
Yes.
that we had?
Yes.
That's exactly
that
what
was
it's
a
like.
very Flex Mode moment of the show. We could talk about Taco Bell for 15 minutes.
Why can't we do a show called Taco Bell Conference Room? Why can't that be a thing?
Oh, that would be great.
And then
Great.
if Taco
Just
Bell
talk-
starts listening and then like actually uses some of our ideas, because we'll come up with
this
some
would be
serious
great.
shit.
This will be great. We'll do like a 10-minute show called Taco Bell Conference Room. And listeners can submit ridiculous product ideas, and then we'll throw it around the table of how we're going to make that work.
You know what? If you want to add that to Spazbot, I will join that show in a heartbeat.
Oh, please, God, don't make me do something more.
He's already done 396 podcasts.
I can't do any more of the things.
Send your ideas for Taco Bell food to.
I tell you what, if it was just getting on Twitch and doing it and then farting it over to YouTube and just like create one bumper, probably I would do it.
Okay.
Let's do it as a Christmas special. Let's do it. That'll be like a Christmas special.
See,
I like this
my
idea.
idea for flex mode was to resurrect it on April 1st next year.
That's a good time to do it. To bring back Flex Mode.
Darn, we're still streaming.
People
I don't
do.
care.
People
Oh,
do.
most people here will forget, and if they remember, so be it.
I don't know why I assume nobody ever listened to Flex Mode, but someone always gets excited when we talk about it
Yeah.
again. So someone
but
somewhere.
someone always
It's like
gets excited
it's
when-
like a cult classic, right? There's those cult movies and those cult podcasts that were like lesser known, yet everyone's like, "Man, you remember Flex Mode?"
Yeah.
I had somebody tweet me the other day and was like, "Hey, how come you're not releasing The Fury from Devil's Lake again this year?" And I'm like, "Really? Are you the one of 9 people who downloaded it?"
Yes.
And John said yes.
I like all these ideas. I support them all, and I'm all for it. And everybody should tune in to the.
There's the echo.
I know it's back. It's driving me crazy.
I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I'm not changing my settings at all.
I think it's Ro. I think Ro
This is
broke
him
it.
saying it's our fault somehow.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll do what I did last time. I'll mute that, but I don't think it would do anything.
All right. Well, let's see. Echo's gone.
That's weird. Seriously, that's weird. I have no idea what it could possibly be. Because that is that. That goes to there. That's something else. That leads out to that. So, yeah, I don't know what it is.
Podcast engineering 101.
The
thing
you know
goes
what I
to
was
the
talking
thing,
about?
that goes to that thing, and I'm running these 14 other back-end software packages that allow me to be able to do that. I don't
Yeah.
know what's
It's
going
like Han Solo doing work on the Millennium Falcon.
on. It is,
That,
it is.
you know what? And then put it in a digital format. That's exactly how my setup is. Yeah.
This
Yeah.
one goes
It's
there.
terrifying.
that one goes there. All right, on that, I'm going to cut the stream. You guys were great. Have a good night, and we'll see you during BlizzCon.